Welcome into the Blazers Uprise post-game show. I'm your host, Tori Jones, and we're going to recap this absolute debacle in Memphis. I got to get Eric on the stream here. I'm going to call him right now, and we'll get into recapping this game. This game had the same feel like that Pelicans game did. Same issues that plagued us earlier on the season. Same defensive issues that we never fixed. And I'm going to go in a bit on this post-game show. I'm gonna vent just a little bit. It's our last post-game stream until the 21st, so 9 days off from post-game streams, 9 days off from this team. Hopefully this team can figure some things out during the All-Star break, or we're going to be looking at sending Anthony Simons to the draft lottery in May. So anyway, let me fire up Skype here. Let me get Eric on this thing. So, all right. Are you? Oh, well, I mean, see, no, we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear
I know.
it.
I will. I'll pause if I take a bite.
Eric said he's eating nachos. But yeah, so anyway. My goodness, man, that game was a disaster. And so a lot of you guys in here right now probably did not watch my podcast earlier today. I literally predicted this game to a T. Did I not, Eric?
Yeah, pretty much.
I predicted this game to a T.
You didn't say Dame would get hurt, though.
I didn't say Dame would get hurt, but I thought, okay, he's struggling, he's gassed. They're not a horrible defensive team. D'Anthony Melton's actually a really good defender, and he played really good defense on Dame. I thought, Dame's not hot like he was during that hot stretch, He's kind of cooled off right now. And now that he's cooled off, we're back to being the same team we were earlier in the year because we never fixed our defense. Even when we were winning games against good teams, our defense was still very, very bad. Still giving up 120 points per game. We only gave up 111 tonight. But, I mean, the defense was better during the third quarter and near the end of the fourth. But, the first half in that stretch with the bench unit, it was awful. And I'm going to...
Beginning of the third quarter, too, was
yeah,
bad.
the end of the third quarter, start of the fourth with that bench unit.
Real quick, anyone who sees an update on Dame, if you could pass that along and what the source is in chat.
If you joke about it being something serious and it's not, I'm gonna be mad. Don't do that. Don't do that. This is your warning. I'll 300-second ban you. Don't do that because I know some people in here will think it's funny to do that, but don't be like that.
And for those that didn't see the in the late, about 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Dame went up for a shot, got blocked. There was no contact down below, but he came up holding his groin area and kind of limping off. And he had to foul someone, and then he walked straight to the locker room and didn't play again.
You know what's ridiculous is, remember that quote from Terry Stotts? Oh, there's nothing that says that, playing 38 minutes a game is that much worse than playing 36 minutes per game. We've done our research, right?
Yeah.
And then Dame gets hurt in his 37th minute. I've always said you don't play players more than 36 minutes per game, no matter what. Damian Lillard literally at the All-Star break where he can rest up for 9 days. I mean, playing the All-Star game, do the three-point contest, but that's not really, that's not laboring on his body. He's literally just 2 minutes away in a game that we knew he had lost at that point, and in his 37th minute gets hurt. So we were calling out Terry Stotts for saying that, I think it's a pretty well-known thing around the league. You don't play your star players more than 36 minutes per game. In his 37th minute, what happens? Dame gets a right groin strain. So we'll see how bad it is. He has 9 days off now, so, maybe no Dame in the All-Star events, and if that's the case, there's no point for me to even really watch the All-Star game, and I don't know, man, that sucks. But, I guess if there's ever a time to get hurt for Dame, it's right now.
They're saying he's having an MRI tomorrow, right groin strain.
MRI, so it sounds like it could be something very serious. And if he's out for a while, this season's done.
Well, it pretty much is.
But if he's out for a while, it's time to take. You know what I mean? It's time to play Anthony 36 minutes a game, see what happens. This season's done for sure. No point to even care about winning if Dame's out. for a couple weeks after the All-Star break. And if it's longer than that, like, okay, we're going to try and get that top 4 pick.
You know what sucks? I think if we lost every game, we still wouldn't get higher than 9th.
If we lost every game from here on out?
Yeah, we're now 5.5 games behind the 8th spot if you're going the opposite way.
So you don't think Chicago or any of the teams like around that area win more than 5 games for the rest of the year? That makes
Chicago
no sense.
possibly could. Detroit isn't going to win that many. They're taking.
I mean, they're winning 1 out of every 3 games, you know. So if we lose the rest of our games, I think.
But that was before they gave up on the season.
Yeah, but you're talking about teams going 5-21. Like
these teams are terrible.
I know they're all terrible, but they're not all gonna go 5-21. And if we lost every game, we'd be giving some of those teams wins too, because we still play some of those teams. We still play Charlotte. We still play Chicago. I think we still play. I'm not sure about Chicago, but I know we still play Charlotte. I know we still play Detroit.
But Charlotte's 8 games.
Minnesota's playing better. So I think Minnesota has an easy schedule too. I mean, and they're what? They're 7 games behind us. If we lost every game, we'd get like 5th through 7th.
Charlotte and New York would have to win 8 of the remaining games to tie us. Minnesota would have to win 9. Atlanta would have to win 10. I don't know, man.
I mean, there's literally for these teams, there's literally 27 games left. So 10-17 isn't like, oh my god, that's insanely good, you know? I mean, if you're talking about a number of different teams, like we're not like if we lost every game, we would be above 9th, in my opinion. We can look at the standings at the end of the season, but I mean, like. But we're not going to lose every game the rest of the season. We're still going to win some games. So I mean, we're looking. I don't know. I don't even know why we're. I mean, I don't know. Like, what's this conversation? You know, I mean, shout out to the $5 donation from Necron99. Said, so when is opening day again? Can't wait for my Dodgers baseball. Ugh. Yikes. Yeah. So, I mean, like, it's just rough, man. It's just rough. So I'm gonna go into what I was right about on my podcast previewing the game. Okay. I told you guys, the guys that were in here, you can corroborate this. I told you guys Brandon Clark was going to kill us because Caleb Swanigan cannot keep up with him. Brandon Clark is very energetic and athletic. And he's like 6'8". He's kind of small, but like he plays bigger than he is because he's really athletic and plays with a ton of energy. I'm a Gonzaga fan. I know Brandon Clark. Like I was not surprised at all. I told you guys Brandon Clark's going to kill us because Caleb Swanigan can't match up against him. I told you guys I would not play Caleb Swanigan at all. I would play Wenyen Gabriel instead. Okay? What happened?
Gabriel played 1 minute.
He played 30 seconds, and it's because Caleb Swanigan had a bloody nose, right? How much did Caleb Swanigan play when he was literally horrible all game long, right? Then he played like 20 minutes or something like that. Let's see here, box score. Caleb Swanigan, okay, he only played 12 minutes, whatever. Still, 12 minutes I would have given to Wenyen Gabriel because Gabriel would have been a much better matchup for Brandon Clark. Gabriel is much more athletic, much quicker, has better stamina than Caleb Swanigan, so Gabriel actually has a chance to get back on defense when the Memphis Grizzlies break out on the fast break, and then he's more suited physically to deal with a guy like Brandon Clark, and I said that before the game. But Terry Stotts, man, like I'm critical of Terry Stotts because like I'll see these things, man. And I'll say, this is what I do. You can't play Swanigan against him. Then he plays Swanigan against him, and Swanigan gets absolutely dominated, doesn't have a chance. And it's like,
why did the coaches see that?
You know, like, I saw that coming. Like, I had such a sure feeling that was going to happen, and then it happened. So that's why I get super frustrated. It's like, if I can see it coming, why can't you guys? You know what I mean? And, like...
The other thing that drives me crazy with Swanigan, quit playing him with Melo. That's like your 2 worst defenders on the slowest defenders on the team. Mm-hmm. Like, the least like aware defenders on the team. Mm-hmm. You cannot have that be your front court, your power forward, and your center against an athletic team like Jaren Jackson and Brandon Clark, and those guys just abuse them.
And that's looking at the defense.
Difference in the winning or losing a game. It's coaching. And that's like, you cannot play those guys together. Like, I don't know what they're seeing.
Yeah, I have a question for you. That's just talking about the defense. In general, why did Carmelo play 36 minutes tonight? He was 1 for 15 15. That was the other thing I said on the podcast, is Carmelo was going to struggle to score. He's been in a slump. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a good defender. He's big, he's athletic, he can stay in front of Carmelo, and he can bother his shots. And Carmelo started off struggling against Jaren Jackson Jr. and it messed him up for the entire game. And he goes 1 for 15. I predicted that. I told you, Melo's not going to have a good game tonight. I predicted that. Yeah, he still plays 36 minutes. Gabriel can't even get on the court. Like I get it. He's not proven, but he at least he has a chance. You know what I mean? At least he's not going to shoot 15 shots and miss 14 of them. At least he's going to play some defense. He's a better defender than Swanigan and Carmelo Anthony. At least his energy and athleticism and motor matches up against the Memphis Grizzlies, who have a ton of guys with a high motor, high athleticism, high energy. At least he stands a chance when he's guarding the pick and roll, which Carmelo doesn't, because Carmelo's way too slow. And that was Eric's point. You can't play Carmelo and Biggie together. Okay, if you're going to play those guys, you got to play those guys separately and combine them with like Carmelo with Whiteside and then like Biggie with Ariza, just so you have a good front court defender. You know, play Ariza some small ball 4. I gotta mute this page because this stuff keeps automatically playing. Because I'm looking at the box score right now. But yeah, no, it just, you can't play Carmelo and Swanigan together. And every time they were in together, dude, the defense was literally abysmal.
Yep, and back to Melo for a second. It wasn't just missing shots. His shot selection was horrible. Mm-hmm. He has like he gets the rebound, dribbles down. He obviously does not have a shot and tries to shoot like 18 foot with a guy in his face, gets the ball ripped, and then like next possession he comes down, doesn't have a shot but still shoots from the corner anyway, misses. It's like, dude, come on, move the ball. Like, you don't have to shoot it every time you touch the ball. And he was just brutal tonight, like so bad on both ends too. And
he still plays 36 minutes.
Yep.
They're 18 in the first half, and it's like, okay, hopefully Stotts noticed how brutal Carmelo Anthony was, and he didn't have it tonight, and hopefully he doesn't play him 18 minutes again in the second half. Hopefully he adjusts, because Terry Stotts doesn't adjust, man. He does not adjust. I'm not even that mad. It's just so ridiculous. Like, he doesn't change up from what's written on the note card. He like writes out the note card. Okay, Carmelo 36 minutes, Damian Lillard 40 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't divert from what he plans. He's not a situational coach. That's why I don't think he's a coach for a playoff team. That's why I don't like him as a head coach. And then what do you get? Carmelo shooting 1 for 15, playing horrible defense, getting burnt. Literally, I think I could have had as much of a positive impact on this game as Carmelo Anthony tonight. I think I would have shot better than 1 for 15, to be quite honest with you, because he did get some good looks that he wasn't even close. Like, I think I could have replicated that production, right? Like, Reddy and Gabriel could have played much better than that. I think Gabriel would have definitely played much better than that. Like, but yet Carmelo's still sitting here playing 18 minutes a half. He's playing 36 minutes in a game where he's literally like the best player for the other team. So it just doesn't make sense, because we saw it coming. We saw it coming before the game. I saw it coming before the game. And then after the first half, it was exactly what I saw. So then going into the second half, like, what do you think's going to happen? Like, what did Stotts think is going to happen? Carmelo's going to magically, like, turn back the clock and make 5 threes in a row and will this team back and play good defense all of a sudden? No, it's the 5th game in 7 nights. Carmelo is old. You know, he's tired. He's burnt out, and it's not a good matchup for him. But Stotts doesn't realize these things, apparently. It just makes no sense, and it drives me crazy, man.
And I'm sick of having dumb IQ plays. It's like our coach does dumb things, our players do dumb things. Like, you know what, Whiteside? You're down 7 with 13 seconds left. You don't need to flex at Jonas's face. Like,
did he really? Because I was driving home during that time, and I heard it on the radio. I heard it on the radio. I didn't see the play, though.
Yeah, he had a putback dunk, and he kind of like threw his arms down on Jonas while he came down, and the ball hit Jonas in the head, and Jonas grabbed the ball like he was going to throw it at him, and Whiteside just stood there like flexing at him. It's like, dude, you freaking lost the game. Like, have some freaking pride. Like, I hate when people do that in football too. Like, they get up celebrating the first down. They're down like 2 touchdowns. Like, shut up, dude. Just take your L and get out of there. Don't be a dumbass about it too. And you got abused by Jonas all night. You shouldn't be flexing at him because you have one putback dunk.
I'm watching it right now. I don't see him flexing. I'm watching the clip.
He double flexes at him with both arms.
Double flexes. Well, I don't think it was a flex. I think it was more of like a threatening because he thought Jonas was going to throw the ball at him. Because Jonas caught the ball and kind of like reached back like this over his head like he was going to throw the ball again at him. And I think like Whiteside reacted by putting his hands up, and then it looks like he like balled his fists up because he thought Jonas was going to throw the ball at him. I think it was that, not a flex, you know?
If you see the baseline view, he's like doing the Hulk flex.
I mean, the baseline view behind the basket?
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
Okay. All right, whatever. Maybe you're seeing something I'm not, but
yeah, go.
I saw him flex with both arms.
Maybe watch it back because I could see why you'd say that. It's just like thinking. I don't know. It seems like he thought Jonas. I don't know. Maybe watch it back because I just searched Jonas Valanciunas, which is impossible to spell. I just searched it on Twitter. It was the first result.
Robbie Stacks agrees with me. Some other people don't.
I mean, I can see why you think that. I think it was just a reaction. Then he's threatening him like, "Don't throw the effing ball at me," like whatever. You know what I mean? But that's I'm not. There's much bigger things to be concerned about. Like I don't like.
Jonas killed him in that game. Like he could not stop him.
Also, I don't think Whiteside is built to play 36 minutes a game, night in, night out, fifth night in 7 games. Like, yeah, he doesn't have a high motor already, but like I don't know, he's also playing 36 minutes. I'm not trying to make excuses for Whiteside, but like I bet he just seemed gassed. He just seemed gassed all game because he's been playing. Let me look at like his past games, man. He's been playing a ton of minutes. Part of that is out of necessity, but like run some small ball Wenyen Gabriel. You know what I mean? Like he played 3 of the last 4 games. He's played 34 minutes or more. You know what I mean?
Well, so that's the freaking problem. Like, Scal's hurt, but we traded him, and our big backup acquisition is getting Caleb Swanigan.
Yep.
So like, I don't blame Stotts there because like we don't really have any options.
But we can't give up Whiteside or a pick to get under the tax, or we can't do anything that would jeopardize the possibility of us making a run this year. But also, we're going to jeopardize the possibility of making a run this year by not going out and simply signing someone for that last roster spot. So like, we're not going to give up assets in order to save like $8 million and possibly get under the tax, which would help us save money in future years. No, we're only gonna save $2 million without giving up an asset, but then we won't spend $2 million to get an asset. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense. It's like, are we trying to save money or are we trying to win? Like, no, we're stuck in between, so we're literally not winning and not even getting under the tax. That's why we were so frustrated with that trade deadline, and here we are. I was frustrated we didn't trade Whiteside in general because this is looking like a lost season at this point, and he's an expired contract. Who knows if he stays? He doesn't make sense as a backup. We could have gotten some contracts to trade in the next year that we don't have now, but no, got to keep Whiteside. It's just the whole incompetence of this franchise the past week, starting with the trade deadline, is just ridiculous, man.
Yeah. R.I.P. Blazers. Jody Allen does not think it's time to fire Stotts and Olshey. Quit saying that. She just gave them extensions. She just made a trade to save $2 million and isn't giving Dame help in his prime. She's not going to fire 2 guys who have guaranteed contracts for several years after this one and pay them for not even being a part of the team. That would be more than she just saved in trading Scal. She's not going to do that. Like, there's no chance Olshey or Stotts get fired for this season.
Yeah, there's
zero chance.
And there's no chance. I wish. Honestly, I wish she did think that. You know what I mean? But like, it's not. You have no way of knowing what she thinks. RIP Blazers. So don't say she knows it's time to fire Stotts and Olshey. Literally, the only insight into what she thinks is the fact that she gave him extensions and the fact that she's valuing $2 million in savings and giving up Scal and then not willing to spend money to get a replacement. So why would she take, basically have to pay people that weren't working for her, that, pay a head coach to not be the head coach of the team, or pay a GM to not be the GM of a team right after she extended them, right after she signed them to new contracts? It just doesn't make sense.
And it's not just the trading of Scal. Like, they've needed a center all season. There's been ones available all season. They had 2 roster spots for like over a month available. They didn't even sign anyone to a 10-day contract, or before there was 10-day contracts available, they didn't sign anyone to a non-guaranteed contract that they could have waived when they got guys healthy again. Like, every move they've made since the Melo signing has been to save money. And they even, I mean, if we're not going to use that roster spot, why wouldn't we keep Gasol on our bench? At least then he could like help mentor the young guys and he'd be earning some of his money. But no, we had to waive him, so we weren't paying him money either. And then apparently he was going to come back and coach, which he probably doesn't want anything to do with this dumpster fire right now. But like every move since the Melo signing has been to save money. So I doubt she would fire someone with, I think Olshey still has like 4 years left on his contract after this one. Mm-hmm. Stott still has 2 full seasons after this one. So there's no chance she's going to pay Stotts $10 million to go away after this season, like after she just made a trade to save $2 million.
Yeah. I have people going on me at Twitter because I said Stotts has officially run Dame into the ground. Okay. How's this Stotts' fault? We have no players. You don't play your players more than 36 minutes per game, no matter what. We had Simons balling out tonight. Dame still was on pace to play like 39 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, and Simons was playing great. Simons should have been getting more minutes. Simons literally played better than Dame, I think. You know, I mean, but, you know, these people, I don't know. I'm not, like, fully blaming on Stotts. Obviously, it's a fluke injury, but we've been playing Dame like I think Dame's leading the league in minutes per game. And he's playing like 37 and a half minutes per game. So
I think Simons was the one bright spot. And then that goes back to playing dumb. So Melo shoots horrible shot selections. Simons has hit 6 threes in a row and then just got to the line and made 2 free throws. And then CJ goes and calls for the ball on the next possession and takes it and goes one-on-one and doesn't pass the ball and takes a bad shot and we miss. And we're down like 8 at the time or something with 2 minutes left, something around there. It's like, I just want like smart players. Like, I'm just sick of people doing dumb stuff, highly selfish play, and it's just driving me crazy.
Yeah. People going at me too for saying I think I could have had as good of an impact as Carmelo tonight, trying to explain to me like what it would, you know, trying to explain basketball to me, as if I haven't played against future NBA players, haven't played against Peyton Pritchard, Robert Frakes, hasn't played against numerous D1 players, hasn't played college level basketball. I know what it takes, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not obviously from experience, but just, I mean, kind of from, I don't know how to explain it, but I think I could have had as good of an impact as Melo tonight, honestly. You guys can hate on me for that, whatever, but like literally the dude was 1 for 15, bricked many wide open shots off the backboard, played literally no defense. I guess he rebounded the ball, but dude literally, like, we could have gotten any G League player and they would have been, you know what I mean? Like, a guy who didn't shoot at all would have been better than Melo shooting 1 for 15. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. It's
Russell asked, have you ever been this pissed in previous years? Has the team and management been this illogical before? I almost feel dumb about it. I don't know.
You can answer that, Eric, because I have in the past, but you've kind of.
I almost feel dumb about being a fan this year, is what he said. Yeah. So I was mad when they traded Vonleh just to get under the cap, especially like considering they had some other options they could have traded off that team. But I understood it. You know what I mean? Like, I got the reason why they did it, to get under the tax. And like last year they went for it fine. Like this summer, like, you knew going into the season that Nurk was hurt, right? And you were saying before the season even started that February was the return date, right? That's what they said, and that they were going to not give much information until closer to February. So I know Collins and Hood got hurt and stuff, but like, why did you take on salary this summer then? Why did you make the trade for Whiteside to bring on all, like, if we didn't make that trade, we'd be under the luxury tax right now. We'd have a center in Myers, you know, like I'm not saying that's good or whatever, but like we made a trade for Bazemore. It added like an extra $1 million or so onto our payroll this year. Those are decisions that you made this summer. And then just a few months later, like, you're like, oh, we're just going to do everything to save money and we don't care about the product on the floor. But then you don't even save enough money to make it useful, like getting under the luxury tax, where it could have a real implication on future salaries and not having to worry about the repeater tax in a couple of years and not worrying about going into the luxury tax next year, because it seems like they're not trying to add salary for next year because they don't want to be a luxury tax team next year. But if you just switched that and made us not a luxury tax this year and then said, okay, next year we'll be healthier, let's just get all our guys back and then regroup and be in the luxury tax next year, I don't see why you would choose this year as the year to go in the luxury tax and next year to save money versus flipping that around, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if I've ever been this mad at a lack of direction, because, like, there just is none. Like, they didn't save money or enough money to make it worth anything. They are not good enough to even make the 8th seed at this point, which is really sad. And they didn't make any changes to, even after saying they're not going to make a move just for this year, they made basically a move not for just to improve this year by keeping Whiteside. And it doesn't make sense to me. I'm just so frustrated that we're doing this when Dame's like almost 30 years old instead of like 5 years ago or something, where like maybe you could have messed around a little bit and done some things, but you still had time to do it. We don't have time anymore. Like, we have to figure this out in the next couple of years.
Messed around for ever since Aldridge left. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we were supposed to be in rebuild mode, but we'd have a better team right now if we actually got into rebuild mode, but we didn't. So we needed to build on that. Like, we've built on it by getting Nurkic, but outside of that, I feel like we haven't built on that. Like, that, if we didn't make that trade, we wouldn't have built on it at all. You know what I mean? And we're still kind of in the same position where we're still not a contender. We're like a playoff level team. We've had some injuries. We've had some horrible coaching this year, and therefore we're a lottery team right now. But like we're literally in the same spot where we're like, okay, maybe we can make a second round. Maybe if everything breaks right like it did last year, we can make a Western Conference Finals and then get swept by a team missing Kevin Durant. You know, like, it's just we're in the same spot. We've made no progress, and we have the best player in franchise history, in my opinion. And I can't say that we've ever been a contender with him. That's ridiculous. Like, and he's been good, really, really, really good for years. Okay, so yeah, it's frustrating as hell, and I'm frustrated with this coach. I'm frustrated with Olshey. I'm frustrated with this whole entire franchise right now.
Jason Joseph brings up a good point. He says he's convinced that they just want a good enough team, don't want to be a serious contender. Yeah, I really get the feeling that they thought if they kept Whiteside, they were easily going to get the 8th seed, and that they would guarantee two home playoff games at least, depending on how they did. And it would be against the Lakers, so you know that it would be sold out and that there would be a huge revenue stream for that. So they saved a couple million from trading Scal, and then they would have gotten it's a little over $2 million per playoff game usually in revenue that a team gets. So it would have been close to $5 million against the Lakers. So that there's another $5 million for their pockets or whatever. I truly think that that's what they thought. They didn't need to do anything else other than that, because it's going to make me mad now if they go out and try to sign someone, because I keep hearing all this stuff like, well, there's no one in the buyout market right now that would even come here or could even help us win a game, let alone make the playoffs or whatever. But if you would have went into the trade deadline thinking you didn't have to dump Scal for money if you were trying to trade him for another player, you could have gotten someone else in a trade. Like, there were lots of little fringe players that were traded around the NBA. Like, there could have been a guy you could have gotten. I mean, people keep mentioning how low Drummond got in there. Like, you can't tell me you could have gotten a backup center for cheap. And then look at freaking Gorgie Jang tonight. He abused us in the first half. He didn't really do much in the second half. But, like, you can't convince me that having Gorgie Jang right now instead of Whiteside would be that much worse, and we could have possibly gotten under the luxury tax and all that stuff. But
yeah, Whiteside's stats make him look better than he is. It's not fully empty stats. You know what I mean? Like, people are so white and black with that argument, and it's not white and black. It's gray. You know, there's a big gray area there, and his stats make him look a little bit better than he actually is. That's been my feeling, because he's getting 3 blocks a game. He's having 5 block games, but it's in games where we're still giving up 125 points. Like tonight he didn't get a block, but there will be games like tonight where we give up like 80 some points in the paint with Whiteside playing 36 minutes. And it's like, if he's that great of a defender, why are we giving up so many points in the paint? It doesn't make sense. You know, it just doesn't quantify. If he's, you know, the league leader in blocks, was like, okay, Olshey literally sat there and referenced, why would we want to trade the league leader in blocks? So either Olshey is BSing us again, like he has in the past, or he's dumb enough and incompetent enough to think that blocked shots equals good defense. Like blocks per game equals good defense. I'm not sure which, but either way, like, that was such a stupid thing to say. And it literally, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just frustrated with this team. I'm frustrated where the organization's at. I mean, like, we went on this hot stretch, but I was trying to tell you guys, man. I was trying to tell you guys during that hot stretch, our defense wasn't any better than it was. Our defense was still bad. And like, I was, you know, enjoying the hype of Damian Lillard. I was enjoying being good teams. You know, I wasn't going to sit here and be negative, but I tried to, like, subtly warn you guys, like, Damian Lillard isn't going to keep averaging 50 for the rest of the season. And what does this team look like when he stops averaging 50, 45? Because his defense is, we are still giving up 120 points. So the ball movement, the open spaces, the rhythm of the offense in general, like, how's it going to look once Dame starts, like, you know, struggling a little bit or kind of falls back down to earth a little bit? And it's literally led to 2 blowouts versus the Memphis Grizzlies and New Orleans Pelicans. Okay, and I tried to warn you guys without being, like, too negative. You know what I mean?
Bro, we had a defensive possession where I think it was Ja got a pick from Brandon Clark, and both Melo and Whiteside, I think it was, just stood there and let Morant, they backed off Morant, so he had a wide open 3, and neither of them took the roll guy. So Ja literally just stood there about to shoot a 3, and then saw that neither of the 2 players was guarding Clark, and just lobbed it up for him for a dunk. Like, so they get a pick and roll, and they don't even guard either of the guys involved in the pick and roll. Like, they just both stood there. Like, it's such, like, dumb play, and it's I don't know how you can be in the NBA and not understand how, like, these basic concepts work on defense. And that, to me, is coaching. Like, I don't know, they're not being held accountable for crap like that, because this has been happening all season.
How often do you hear Stotts, like, really go in on the defense in a post-game interview? You know what I mean? Like, really challenge his team. He doesn't, you know what I mean? People say, oh, he does it so behind closed doors. I'm not sure. He's a player's coach, right? He's a coach the players love. And that's why Dame goes to bat for him, because he literally, like, he's not hard on his players. And the product on the floor tells me he's not hard on his players, and he doesn't hold them accountable enough. We've seen literally, like, no improvement in terms of consistently playing average defense, not even good defense, average defense, which with this personnel, we should be playing average defense. You know, the bench, okay, yeah, they'll struggle a little bit, but, like, the starters, man, the starters should be playing better defenses. You got Trevor Ariza, who's a good defender. You got Hassan Whiteside, league leader in blocks, and, you know, oh, Melo, he's been communicating well. He's been okay defensively, according to the team, right? I mean, like, Dame's defense has been decent as of late, I think. CJ's off-ball defense is garbage, but his on-ball defense is, like, okay-ish, in my opinion. That's been my opinion all season, but, like, that the off-ball defense from the team is, like, bad in general, and I feel like that's a coaching thing, just because they probably don't work on that enough, because they seem unaware and not sure what to do in terms of defending off the ball, making defensive rotations, that type of thing, and that shouldn't be the case 56 games into the season. But we should be playing better defense in this. It's literally just like, we run a scheme, a pick and roll scheme that I hate. I hate dropping that big back. I hate giving up like 7-foot floaters to guards, and then if we try and take that away, the guard is in a position 7 feet away from the rim, just lob it to the big, and then we switch. A lot of times we switch and get into mismatches, and then we get abused by mismatches. And when we do help on drives, we don't rotate properly on the backside. It's like fundamental stuff like that we should be able to do consistently, that most NBA teams, even the bad ones, are able to consistently do at this point. It's stuff like that we don't do that has me frustrated with the coaching, because this coaching staff, if they're a good coaching staff, should have this team doing those fundamental defensive things. So I get frustrated with the coaching, man. I get frustrated with not playing as good of defense as we should, and it's just It's the same problems. We're 56 games in. We haven't seen any progress. I voiced these concerns in the first 10 games, and people say, oh, it's just game 6. It's just game 8. It's just game 9. Well, it's game 56.
Yep. Hey, do you want some news?
What's up?
Dame's out for the weekend.
Yeah, I saw that a while ago.
He recommended Devin Booker.
Yeah, that's pretty cool of him. That's pretty cool of him. But... yeah, it's just...
I wonder why I didn't recommend CJ.
Because he does CJ deserving. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I was gonna do like a whole All-Star Weekend preview, and now that on Friday for the podcast, I mean, we'll still do it, but that kind of takes the luster out of it. What the hell, man? Why is this page... okay, Brazil Blazers on Twitter. See, this is the type of stuff I get on Twitter that just drives me crazy. Okay, I said Gabriel would shoot better than 1 for 12 and would play better defense, like, compared to Melo. And in this page, Brazil Blazers says, oh, Tory, sad face. And I'm like, yes. And he's like, Gabriel, really? It's like, you want 36 minutes of Carmelo Anthony shooting 1 for 15 and playing no defense and literally not play Gabriel more than 30 seconds? Like, really? What do you mean, really me? Oh, Tory, me. What the hell? Like, I get stuff like that, and it's just like, it drives me, it gives me a headache. Like, why? What do you mean, really? Yes. Like, is that obvious that we should maybe, I don't know, try to play a player who's not going to shoot like 7% on 15 shots, and a player who has some energy and might play some defense compared to the 36-year-old, 35-year-old, whatever he is, that's getting absolutely abused in all aspects out there? Like, God, man. I gotta respond. That's just the stuff that I get that drives me crazy. It just doesn't make sense.
This is our 5th game in 7 nights, too. Like, Melo is, how old, 36 years old or something? Like, he shouldn't be playing 36 minutes in a game, especially when he's played, if it wasn't for the 4th quarter of last game, them calling it early. Like, he's played this amount of minutes, like, every game out of those 5 games, except for last night. And... dude, the guy cannot handle playing that many minutes right now. Like, it's just not a good idea. Like, even if he is having a good game, you don't want to, like, wear him out that much.
I'm responding to this.
And for anyone, like, it's been brought up like 10 times in chat, Dame still gets credit as an all-star appearance. It's not, he doesn't get stripped simply because he's injured. Yeah. That would be silly.
No, he just gets replaced, so somebody else gets an all-star like credit. Dame had that happen in the past.
I think twice, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Austin Wack, are you the truth too, or is that someone different? Because you asked like the same question worded the same way.
God, I'm so sick of people talking about injuries, bro. We would not be 10 games better if healthy. We'd be like 6-7 if we still had these problems, you know what I mean? Because there's problems with the way we play that's just not automatically tied to the personnel. So, I mean, maybe, you know, having the personnel would have, like, butterfly effect, whatever, fix those things. But, like, those things, the things we're struggling with right now aren't, like, it's personnel affects it, but it's not completely dependent on the personnel we have out there. You know what I mean? Like how we rotate defensively, what type of schemes we run, if we cut properly, if we move the ball.
Running a 2-3 zone on a baseline out of bounds that gets destroyed every single time.
Every single time. That's not personnel based. So like people here, you got Chad from, Radio Chad doing, sitting here on Twitter talking about injuries, if we were healthy, but because they won't break down the game beyond that. God, man, like it's just frustrating, man. It's frustrating. Yeah.
Chief and Porzingis is recognized as an all-star. I don't know why people keep bringing this up.
Why'd this person tag me in this? Somebody said, Lillard said after the game, the season's far from over. Better believe that. He's been saying, well, we just got to play with better energy. I mean, he's kind of had empty responses all season long. I feel like, just like the media responses. And I'm not saying Dame's a liar or whatever, but like he, of course, he's gonna say the season's far from over. Like I would say the same thing too if I was in his position. Literally, all I said is this season's over if Dame misses a long stretch of games. Okay, so I don't know why this guy just randomly tagged me in a Jamie Hudson tweet that quoted Lillard saying the season is far from over. Like, I said it's far from over if Dame misses a bunch of games. Do you disagree? Like, I don't know if this person's still in here.
But yeah, if you get hurt, I mean, someone replaces you, but you still get. I don't know why people are still confused about that. Porzingis he made the All-Star game, didn't play, but he's still an All-Star. Like it still goes down on his record as being an All-Star. When he goes at the end of his career, he'll still be 5-time All-Star Damian Lillard, and he'll get many more after that. So. Yeah, Shervins is right. Dame will never call out his teammates anyway. So, but yeah, I don't know what that has to do with anything you're saying.
Yeah, sorry, I'm active on Twitter right now, guys. If you want to respond to chat a little bit.
Chief and what is wondering if Dame has ever called CJ out. Yeah, I wonder if he even does it in private.
Yeah, I wonder.
I doubt it, but
I doubt it too.
See, that's the only way.
He'll do it to everybody else but CJ, I think, honestly. That's my honest guess.
Yeah. That's the only way this backcourt will ever get broken up is if Dame is like, you know what, this just isn't working out. Let's move on from this, which he won't do.
Yeah, no, he won't. Which, whatever, he's loyal to his guys and he's loyal to the franchise. His loyalty, he's loyal to Stotts, and I wish he wasn't, but he's a loyal person. So he's loyal to the franchise, so that's good. It's a good thing. Even if in some areas I wish he wasn't so loyal, if that makes sense.
Well, if he got that mad when we traded Tim Frazier, I can't imagine how mad he'd be if we traded CJ. Because Tim Frazier had only been here half a season or something when we traded him, right?
Yeah. For real. So Brian Nell says, it sucks to say the least that Dame is out of the All-Star game in three-point shootout. I hope it's only a strain. A lack of load management isn't the sole reason he's hurt. Can we please be reasonable? Injuries occur. So he's saying it's not the only reason, but he's it's like he's admitting that it is a reason, but then he's asking, can we please be reasonable? So I know what he's saying, but this is what I'm saying to him. I'm saying you don't play players more than 36 minutes a game. I've said that all season. Dame got hurt in the 37th minute, and then that emoji.
Well, what about this? Okay. Dame said he hurt his back 10 days before he actually missed games due to the back, and he still was playing heavy minutes in all those games. When he that's when we got Melo, and he missed Dame missed the first Pelicans game and the first Milwaukee game, and then came back for the Cleveland game that we lost. He said that his back had been bothering him and that he could barely move, and yet we still were playing him 30, 35 to 40 minutes a game in every game after that.
I mean,
with a bad back.
Even Chad Doing, the Stotts defender, that's what he's been critical on Stotts on, is playing Dame too much. So that's the one area we agree. But I just saw something on Twitter. Are you ready for Olshey to sign Isaiah Thomas to a 10-day contract? ? With the crying emoji. What if Dame's out for 10 days and we sign Isaiah Thomas to a 10-day contract? because he's a free agent now. Oh, that would be funny. That'd be good to tank for. That'd help us tank.
I liked your post signing Jamal Crawford would help us tank. Your tweet.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're going to get a groin strain, I guess this game was the best possible time to get one, right? You have 9 days off. Just sucks that he won't be able to play this weekend. Because I thought he was going to have a monster weekend between them changing the rules on the three-point shootout and, him being selected first among the reserves.
Yeah.
It's just frustrating.
Yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks. But, I mean, like, Brandon or Devin Booker, hopefully he gets in. I think he's deserving. I think he kind of got screwed over by that. So if he gets into the All-Star game, that's good for him. You know what I mean? Dame's played in it before. I want to see Dame play in it, but like it's an experience Dame has had and will have many times again. I mean, like Devin Booker will have that experience a lot. It's just, there's somebody deserving that'll take his place, and I don't know. Suns fans, should like Damian Lillard for that quote. I don't
know. OJ Mayo brings up a good question. Is he still going to be performing? Because he's supposed to have like a concert, right?
Oh, no, bro. Yeah, crap. Damn it.
I have a feeling
Don't play Dame more than 36 minutes a game. You messing with both his career thoughts. God damn it, man.
I have a feeling he won't go at all. He'll just go home and rest.
That sucks, man. Concert canceled. Yeah, they should have. See, the media should have asked him about that, but they didn't. Anyway, God, man, this just frustrating. Just frustrating situation to be in. Just like in terms of our franchise, somebody asked me why I'm frustrated at the franchise on Twitter. I told them watch a post game stream. We've already went in on it. I'm not gonna like rehash it. But people ask me like my opinions, like why do you feel this way on Twitter? It's like, and I can tell like they don't watch a stream. It's like, look at my bio. You know what I mean? Like, check out my page for 5 seconds. There's you want an answer. You want something in depth. There you go.
And we mentioned this on last Thursday. The worst possible thing that can happen after that trade deadline was finishing in 9th or 10th.
Yeah, I mean we can get into the top 4 from 9th or 10th.
Okay, I'm saying like in the West.
Yeah.
Not lottery wise, like
no, I mean like we still can get into the top 4 from 13th or 14th in the lottery, 9th to 10th in the West.
We can, but let's say
odds aren't high, but
let's say we don't move up and get the 14th pick, right? Mm-hmm. That's the worst possible scenario because we kept Whiteside, we didn't get under the luxury tax, we didn't make the playoffs, and like we got like 1 or 2 picks higher by not making the playoffs, but like it doesn't really help us that much. Yeah.
I mean, I think there's like the top like couple tiers of prospects. There's like 12. The draft drops off around like 12 or 13. So,
I wish Jake Carey was in here. I want to say something.
Why? What would you say?
I've been recording a lot of college basketball games because now I'm gonna have a lot of time because I don't give a crap about the All-Star weekend.
Yeah, I'm gonna catch up on a lot of stuff.
But I've been recording some games of some of the prospects. So Clays has been mentioning. I think he's on the Sadiq Bey.
Villanova.
And then I'm sorry, I forget. It might be Tommy Thompson, maybe, but someone in here has been talking about Jake Reed or something.
Paul Reed, DePaul.
Yeah, and then like DePaul plays Villanova coming up, so I recorded that game.
Yeah,
so
that's a good game
watch
to
both
catch.
of them.
Paul Reed versus Sadiq Bey.
Yeah. And then so I recorded. See, when I watch college games, like so I recorded the Dayton game last night, and they were playing Rhode Island, which is like the top 2 teams in their conference. Like I just watched Obi Toppin the whole time, off ball, like just keep my eye on him. And I was like blown away by him defensively. So I don't get how how he's always knocking.
Honestly, yeah. Honestly, I feel like Jake Carey always like
just tries to be.
I feel like he always tries to like find ways to knock like the prospect I like most. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's subconsciously or something. I just always have felt like that's the thing. Like the prospect I like most, it's always like something like he's too stiff and does not move quick enough laterally to I don't know. It's like we're talking about a guy who would play the 4 and like looks good to me. I mean, like I've watched him play. I don't know what he's seeing. Like he's like I see how he looks a little stiff, but he's able to move himself laterally enough to stay